Many Liberians say they are satisfied with the level of peace prevailing in their country, but it remains one of the most underdeveloped nations in the world. Earlier, my colleague Mike Walter spoke with Benjamin Spatz. He's an expert on West African affairs who has spent time working as an advisor for the United Nations in Liberia. Mike began by asking him how he felt Liberia had changed since the Accra Peace Accord that was signed 10 years ago.
Liberia right now is really in the midst of a remarkable transformation that's truly historic. It has gone from being the poster child for all the ills of evil in the world, anarchy, child soldiers, to really now being a beacon of hope. But it also faces a paradox at the moment where, despite the remarkable progress, many of the fundamental issues still need to be resolved, and that's what Liberia is grappling with now. That's what the donors are grappling with, and that's what we all hope that we can overcome in the next few years and future.
You mentioned child soldiers. I had an opportunity to spend some time with Lori Grinker. You know Lori as well, a tremendous award-winning photojournalist with this book out, After War, and she has these images, and we want to show you some of them, and I want to get your thoughts on this. The first image is of Otis reenacting what it was like to be a child soldier, and you look into these eyes of these children, and they're haunting. How are these kids able to live after what they went through, and how is Liberia able to turn the page and move on to this new chapter, or how difficult has that been?
It has been very difficult, and it will continue to be very difficult. And one of the things that's so remarkable about Liberia's transformation is the depth of the conflict, and it affected so many people, child soldiers in particular. But over the course of the war, about 250,000 people were killed, more were displaced. It ended up being about 1 in 4 of all Liberians. And child soldiers were often used as the principal tool of the various fighting factions. And now, 10 years after the war, many of them are still uneducated. They're obviously traumatized from the experience. And they're trying to find their way in this new Liberia. Finding a place for them is still difficult, but there is more opportunity for them going forward.
There was a quote from a relief worker who spent some time there, and she said, Liberia became a place where killing was a way of life. And those who killed people deliberately in Liberia have been left to roam the streets. That there really hasn't been accountability. We've seen Charles Taylor, of course, tried. Would you agree with that assessment, and how much of that is a stain on this country?
This issue of accountability, especially around who was fighting, is one of the issues that really still focuses the attention of many Liberians, because they do see people on the street. There hasn't been a full accounting for the war crimes. Now, Charles Taylor is the most famous example of those who were held accountable, being recently convicted last year of 11 counts of war crimes and crimes against humanity. But so many others have not, and there are people who fought in the legislature in senior positions in the Senate, among other places, and trying to deal with their legacy is a real challenge for Liberia going forward. It's very difficult for them to see these people in positions of power, making money, and they know the history. It's a very small country, and this is a real challenge for them as they try to take the gains from this past 10 years and transform it into something durable.